Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, this is going to end up being a crazy week because of FOMC. We have it on Wednesday. We just look at other, just looking at the economic calendar. Let's see if there's anything else on deck besides FOMC. We have JOLTS job openings at 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. They will have a pretty big impact on the market. Then we have ADP non-farm employment change, 8:15 on Wednesday. Then we have the FOMC at 2 p.m. Then the press conference at 2:30. Then on Thursday we have unemployment claims, ISM services PMI. Then on Friday we have non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. So get some stuff coming out this week. Now the put to call ratio, I was expecting the put to call ratio to be high, but it's not. I mean, we had such a massive short squeeze. I thought that people would be going in and piling in puts on Friday after close, thinking we were going to gap down, but I don't like doing that because when we have a strong finish on Friday, usually we gap up on Monday, then we could possibly sell off on Monday. So I don't like doing that. Futures is the easiest way to manipulate the market. So that's why you see these huge gap ups or gap downs, and they just can be manipulated so much easier. I know I have TSLA up, but I'm not going to go over that right now. I'm going to go over the VIX and SPY. So my thinking through the week is that obviously we're probably going to chop. I think we're going to get probably a 75 basis points rate hike, which will probably drop the market a little bit. Then I think the Fed's going to say, we're going to reduce the rate hikes. We're going to slow down. We're going to give it some more time to work. I mean, they've been raising rates all year long, and it's not really doing that much of an impact on the inflation as like they've hoped, or it's still very high and it's not going down nearly as much. So I'm going to think that they're going to announce they're going to end up slowing the rates down, and the market's just going to rage on that. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we see a drop and a pop on FOMC day. So I'm thinking that, maybe we get some sideways action until then. Maybe the market rallies a little more or something. I don't know. But I'm thinking that, they need to, the VIX should probably get down to the 21 and 20 area. I'm thinking before by the end of the week. So I was actually kind of hoping it would be down there to by Wednesday, but I don't think it's going to. I think the market's going to chop. And plus, like I said, I think everyone's expecting more rate hikes to come, and them just to drive the market into a recession, which I think the recession's already been for a while. But I don't know. I just think that once even though they're going to raise the rates 75 basis points, probably, that I think they're going to start cooling down. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm leaning towards them cooling down. I think the bear market's going to be over with probably at the end of the year. January or February will probably end up being over. I don't know, but I don't anticipate that. I think we're going to have one more drop because everyone's expecting the bear market to be over with now. I just don't think it's going to be. I think that we could get one more pop and then another drop before we actually get the real rally. But we'll have to see. But anyways, the VIX, I mean, it does like to hold down in this 25 area, but I'm still thinking we get down to 22 to even possibly get down to the 20 area this week. So have to keep an eye on that. SPY, if it gets below 20, the VIX definitely going to be looking at some SPY puts long term, or even VIX calls or whatever. So But one thing I like to look at is, the VIX SPY on the weekly is at the 20 EMA on the weekly, so it likes to reject that, but it sliced through it right there, but it did reject right here. It came back down, so we could end up seeing this kind of a move tomorrow, Tuesday, and first half of Wednesday. So it could pop up, and we could end up dropping, and then we get FOMC, then we could pop. But we'll just have to take it day by day. I don't want to try to guess the future, because you'll give yourself an ulcer and a headache if you try to do that. But right now, I mean, SPY just had a really ridiculous run on Friday, especially with all the bad news and bad ER. But I think the market, like I've been saying, is just holding out that the Fed's going to pivot, change its direction on the rates, and the market's just hoping on that. So the market loves blind hope, and that's exactly what it's doing. So I mean, the RSI, I mean, look at the RSI and the hourly. It's definitely diverging, so we could end up pulling back a little bit here, especially with the 20 EMA right there on the weekly. So, I'm on the fence. I don't really see it going much higher right now, but I think that we pull back before we get into FOMC, and then FOMC is going to change its position. We're going to go to 400, 410, even 420 really quick, depends on what they say. But with that said, I would watch SPY under 387 for push down to 380. Gets to 380, 387, 380, 375. We get this 372 area right here. 372, 373 is got a pivot right there on the hourly. So 370, 365. But I don't know if who knows, the SPY will even pull back. I mean, we could just get a continuous monster run to 400 into FOMC. So who knows what's going to happen. We're just going to trade it day by day and see how it goes with the hourly overnight, and just trade it based on the what happens overnight. But it's literally a coin flip until FOMC. We could rage until FOMC, and we could end up dumping, or we could pull back and we could pop during FOMC. So just be ready, be open-minded to play both sides. Now on the upside, if we do manage to get over Friday's high, we'll just round up and say 390. We get over 390, we probably get a push to 395, 400. 400 would be a pretty big number to clear, but SPY has just been giving a big middle finger to all resistance levels on the way up. So who knows, it could get blow right past 400. And plus, SPY likes to overshoot, undershoot levels, so it could get to 400, and everyone could pile in puts at 400, and it pushes to 402. I mean, SPY does that all the time. It loves to do that. Loves to get people in on one side at a certain level and chop at that level. Then they'll push it a little higher just to get people to stop out before they actually do change directions. And they just does that way too often. You just got to be able to recognize it. So SPY, flip a coin. That's basically what it's going to be. Take it day by day on that. Now Google, I'm kind of watching Google on the longer side. Over 98. It's over 98 for probably go for a gap fill, push to 100, 102, 104, 105. So definitely keep an eye on Google for possibly a gap fill on that. Amazon, same thing. I know that they've had really bad earnings, but who knows, if the market does run, it's going to end up following it. I mean, Amazon just had a massive rally day on Friday, but look at the RSI on the hourly, it was 10 to 20. It was ridiculous. But I'd watch it over Friday's high of 104, or even you can say 105 for push to 110 and fill that gap. If it gets to the 110 and fills the gap, you got 112.50, 115 is a gap right there at the 115 area, and there's a gap at 120. So we'll have to see if we get one of these moves right here. So we'll have to see if that actually happens. Meta is the other one. I know Facebook is just not doing well. It's under $100. I mean, I think, if it gets over this, I wouldn't say 102. I would get it over 100. If it gets over 100 for a push to the gap resistance of 102, and it gets over that, which if it does get to the 100 area, it's probably going to push and break gap resistance, and we could probably see a pretty nice run at a 105, 107 to 110 on Meta. So definitely keep an eye on that. Obviously, SPY is going to have a big impact on whether that moves or not. Tesla's got an inverted head and shoulders on the hourly. You can see the left head and the right shoulder right here. So if it gets over the 230 area, watch for push to the fill the gap at 240, 245, 250, 255, 260. So get some gaps up here in the 260 area up to the 263, 265. So, but I would think if we do break the 230, we get gap resistance right here, the 250, 255 here could stall out there. If the market has a ridiculous run, it could definitely fill the other gap above 260. So keep an eye on that. That's all I'm gonna do. I know Roku has earnings this week, and you know, Netflix just popped on their earnings. Everybody else is missing, you know, depending on what happens throughout the week. If Roku doesn't have a ridiculous run and it stays right around the 50 level, 55 level, I might grab calls for earning for ER just for fun. Don't go and jump in and buy calls and go in heavy. I mean, if you're going to play ER, play one con or something or a couple contracts. Anything you play in ER, expect to lose. That's the way I always have the mindset for ER. If you're going to play it, expect to lose it. So, and if you don't lose, that's a blessing in disguise. But earnings is a crapshoot. It's literally gambling. There's no advantage whatsoever. My thinking behind Roku is Netflix popped big on that. Roku is so beaten down for so long that I think the slightest positive news could end up sending it to $60, $70. So I think I'll watch Roku for ER. I mean, you can also even watch Roku for the options play over 55. It gets over 55, 56, 58. Get a gap fill over 58 to 60. I mean, we have not had a strong run out of Roku in a long time. So I mean, you can even add Roku. I don't have to wait for ER. I mean, if it gets over this 50. 55, 56 level, I mean, I'm probably going to take it. But options volume on Roku is very, very, very light lately. But maybe we get a nice run before ER. Now, if Roku does pop before ER, I probably will not grab calls for an ER play. So, I mean, I'm basically going to play it day by day. That's why you need to be in the room. And that's going to do it for the watch list. And hope to see you in the room. Thanks for watching.